Hello, my good friends. Good evening, and welcome to day two of the Summertime Financially Fine Virtual Summit. So it is day two, ladies, and as I told you before, well, last night we had my leak teal. So if you haven't watched that hangout, please go back and watch it because she dropped so many amazing nuggets about so many different things. But tonight, I told you about this amazing gentleman, Jason Vitug, who is the author of You Only Live Once. I just told Jason I mess up his book all the time, so I'm going to read it, ladies, okay? You Only Live Once, The Roadmap to Financial Wellness and a Purposeful Life. And I also just told Jason, which I've said this to him many times before, but I want you ladies to know it, is that I admire Jason so much, number one, because I love his book. Number two, whoever wins the challenge, you'll be getting a copy of Jason's book also. But the biggest thing that I admire about Jason is that he is in the very same space that I am, in the personal finance space. And it seems like Jason is always on the go, but he always makes time to make time for himself and self-care. So if you go to Jason's website or go to his Instagram or Twitter, you'll see him traveling all around the world and really having a good time, whether he's working or not. So Jason, thank you for joining us, sir. How are you tonight?
Thank you so much, Marcia. I'm excited to be here. I am doing well.
Thank you, Jason. And you are in San Antonio right now tonight, right,
Yep.
Jason? Working.
Yep. I'm currently in San Antonio working and having fun. You know, you never know, like what you said, you never know if I'm working or I'm on vacation. That's how I like it.
Exactly. I know, that's living the life. That's living the dream. So Jason, I told you before that I didn't want to keep you long tonight, but I just want to give you some background information, okay? The Summertime Financially Fine Challenge began the very first day of summer, and I did this in partnership with Myleik Teal of Curlbox and the My Taught You podcast. So we had over 2,500 women to join the challenge, and the goal for them was that they were responsible for saving 1% of their monthly income every single week. And when they did that, Jason, then they went on Instagram or social media, captured a very short video just to say how they're saving money or what they're doing to be able to get that money in their account. And they also had a journal to write that information down, or just whatever emotions they were experiencing at the time. So what I want to know from you, Jason, is that what do you think saving money or just having savings in general, what type of financial transformation does that give you?
No, first I want to say, like, congratulations to the 2,500 women. I mean, that is amazing. 1% is huge.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely something to give an applause. So great job, everyone. Yeah, when it comes to like your question, like financial transformation that savings have, I think what's important for people to understand is that savings provides security and peace of mind. When you have a healthy savings account, I mean, let's even take this take a step back. If you have an emergency fund that can cover an instance of an emergency, whether it's a flat tire or an unexpected bill, having money in your savings account can provide that level of security and peace of mind that you're not going to experience stress. I mean, stress impacts our well-being, it impacts our emotional stress, mental stress, physical stress, can all relate to not having enough money available to kind of cover an emergency, not cover a rainy day. So savings transforms your life because you get that peace of mind, and that adds to the quality of the life that you're living. I mean, when you have money, and regardless of the amount, knowing that you have something saved can drastically change your mindset.
Right. And you know what, Jason, I didn't provide you with this question, but I think that's one thing that I really like about your book so much, is that you talk about transformation a lot. So when it comes to saving money, or when you wrote your book, like what was your goal? What was your overall objective for people to really get out of your book?
Yeah, well, with You Only Live Once, I really wanted people to understand that our mindset is kind of the foundation in making changes to our financial behaviors.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're not moved by numbers, right? Numbers are important and facts are important, but that doesn't push us. That doesn't motivate us to make any changes with our behaviors. So when we start addressing our thoughts and feelings and our relationship with money, then we start asking why. Why am I compelled to spend? Why am I not compelled to save?
Mhm.
And that really rests in our mindset. And so for me, what I wanted people to get with You Only Live Once is an understanding of their relationship with money and start making the necessary changes in order to move from kind of like that scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance.
Yeah.
Um, and because like when you have that mindset of abundance, when you believe that savings is important, and when you start aligning your spending to the things that matter most to you, I mean it increases your level of satisfaction in your life, and you're able to, again, as I mentioned, that peace of mind, that and that peace of mind goes a long way.
So why do you think it's so important then, Jason, for us to have or create a plan for our money? Because you mentioned that spending money is not necessarily, I think I read this, spending money is not necessarily about having things or the things that you want. And I just noticed, Jason, the other day on Facebook, you put a message about the new iPhone and that you were going to get the new iPhone and you had your own reasons behind it. And some people were like, no way. When it comes out, I'm not getting it because it costs so much money. So talk to us a little bit about that, Jason, because I want people to realize, and I asked my league last night a very similar question, that this is not about not having what you want. It's actually the opposite of that. Would you agree with that?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's about, we all work hard to earn money in order to afford the things that we want and the things that we
Hmm.
need. So I'm not here to tell you you cannot spend your money.
Right.
I'm here to open your mind to and making the connection that your money is your time, and how you spend your money is a reflection of your values. And so that's why it's really clear and really important for people to understand what they value, so they can allocate their money to the things that are important. And so it's important for us to have kind of like that plan for our money, because like money is a tool, right? I think
Hmm.
you and I, we've conversed, and money is a tool. And I
Yeah.
like to reiterate that because it's really important. And in order for us to effectively use money, we need to learn as much as we can about this tool. And we need to have a plan of action on how we're going to use this tool to build the life that we want to live. And then
Hmm.
when it comes with the iPhone, the iPhone, it starts like at $1,000. I mean, that is a lot of money. And if you think about it, if you're making $10 an hour, that is 100 hours of your
Yeah.
life. And so is that like 2.5 weeks of working? Is that worth the iPhone? And that may be to some people, it may not be for others. And for me, I mean, I posed that question to my group because I have an iPhone 6, so I don't upgrade my phone every single opportunity. I actually wait because, like, I want to make sure it's about usability
Yeah.
and not about disposability. And for me, what was important was I travel a lot. I love taking photos and
Hmm.
pictures. I love being able to capture a sunset or what have you, and having a more powerful camera on something that I can carry around aligns with my values. So I
Right.
was thinking about getting a DSLR camera, and they run anywhere from 800 on up, but
Yeah.
I really don't like carrying big, like, bulky items around because that doesn't allow me to move. And so, here I am. Okay, instead of carrying two items, I can then kind of use the money and have a more powerful tool, this gadget that can, I can run my business with this iPhone. I
Hmm.
can take amazing photos. I
Yep.
can do live streaming events. So it can do all the things that I needed and it aligns to the lifestyle that I'm building.
Right. Jason, so you mentioned aligning how we spend money with our values. What's the best way for us to figure out what our values truly are? Because for many people, Jason, they feel like going to work to pay bills. I think a young lady just put in our Facebook group today for the challenges that all of her life, or all of her adult working life, she thought that, you know, you go to work, you pay bills, and then you repeat. So what is a good tip that you can share for us to really get clear on what it is in life that we truly value?
You know, what's interesting is that I relate to that young woman about going to work and believing that your purpose is paying bills, because
Yeah.
I thought my purpose in life was to make money and pay debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I had this really crazy relationship with debt and credit and money. And so that's what I thought. And so part of it, I like to kind of start with like the big picture. I want everyone to have a clear vision for their life and understand how they envision their life. So it's sort of when you think about, like, you know, in the physical form, a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so where would you like to live? How would you like, you know, what are the experiences that you want out of life? But when it comes to values, values are a bit more specific. And so, you know, we tend to value our family. We tend to value, you know, our community. We tend to value specific things. So we want to start asking ourselves, okay, if money was no obstacle, if I
Oh,
had no financial debt or obligations, how would I spend my time?
yeah.
And when I ask this question, majority of people say, well, I would spend more time with loved ones, with my parents, with my partner, with my children,
Mm-hmm.
with my friends, or on this project, or at church, or what have you. And that's how. So like take out the money aspect of it and determine how you would use your time, and write these down. And I like people to write down how the top 5 things that you would do with your time. How would you spend your time? Write them down. And that gives you an idea of the things that you value, and if it's your family. And one of the key things that I even mentioned in the book is that someone will tell me, it's like, oh yeah, I value time with my family. My family is why I work very hard. But they spend no time with their family. You know, they're
Right.
so busy working to earn a big paycheck in order to buy their family, you know, to afford the big house, the nice cars, the fancy vacations. But, you know, they're spending like 50 weeks out of the year working, and not being able to spend that time with their family. So what do you truly value? And so that's why it's important for us to kind of go through that process. So
Jason, do you think, to your point, when you mentioned when we write down our values, I'm getting some back feed, like echo. I'm sorry, Jason.
no
When we
problem.
write down our values, it goes back to, if you did have money, or like you mentioned, if money wasn't an obstacle, like dream out what you would want for yourself. Is that you would want to send all of your kids to college? You would want to furnish your kids' first apartment, things like that. Like dream of that, because when that money comes, you'll be able to redirect your sources to that. Like I remember when I had the opportunity to do the show with Ayanla Van Zandt, and she had the young lady, we talked to the young lady that had won the lottery. And one thing that I remember saying to her is that when you win money, the only problem with that is that you never thought that you would win the lottery. So when you have a lot of money, you didn't know what you were going to do with it, because you never knew, or to your point, what you truly valued in life for the beginning, because you never imagined having that amount of money. So that's extremely important, is what you said, is that take time tonight to maybe sit down and jot down a few things of what you value, and do that very quickly. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to envision your life with money today, and not when
Yeah.
you win the lottery. So I completely agree with you, because again, money is a tool, and if you think about money as a magnifying glass, right? So it's going to magnify the best or the worst parts of
Yep.
yourself. And
That's
so when you
right.
start emphasizing the things that you truly value, the great things. So even that example about, I want to send my kids to school, what does that mean? It means that you value education.
Yep.
And then so that's kind of one of your values. I value family, I value education. And then you can break that down. Like, you know, when I go through this process of, okay, so like, you know, family is important. Family is everything. Education is a value. Now, how do you set a goal around education and family? Now, you know, okay, so that means sending my kids to college. And
Mm-hmm.
how much is it going to cost to send my kids to college? And so then you can start doing the math. And then you say, okay, now I need to start putting some money towards a college fund.
Yeah.
And then you create the plan of, okay, you know what? I need to save $20,000 for my kid to go to college. So I need to put in, you know, $100 every pay period into this college fund. So you can really break it down. So it's not this like wishy-washy, have this vision
Right.
for your life and then have a set of values. You know, that's the first two pieces. And then we can go ahead and create the financial goals and then create the plan.
Right. So make it very clear is what you're saying, right, Jason? Be very
Very clear.
crystal clear of how you break it down. What's your stance, Jason, on you only live once, you only live once mindset, because you put that in your book? What is your stance on that?
Well, you know what? I love the fact that you agree with with my YOLO beliefs, because, you know, as millennials, and it's crazy that you know, we misconstrued what you only live once meant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around for hundreds of years, so it's something that we just didn't create. I mean, yeah, Drake shortened it to YOLO, and then we thought it was a way for us to kind of make mindless spending decisions. And understanding that you only live once means that your time is the most valuable asset that you own. So this is the only lifetime that we know that we have. So that means your time is unique. It's extremely valuable. I mean, we can always make more money. We cannot make more time. And so when we think of that, and we think that this is an opportunity for us to create a lifetime of memories and not just, you know, mindlessly spending for one moment. And so you only live once. That mindset is understanding that I need to balance my need to kind of feel satisfaction today with my desire to have, you know, an experience long-term gratification and satisfaction. So it's not about saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to go buy that expensive car and make that $500 monthly payment because YOLO. No, it's about understanding that my values is, you know, I want to be able to retire at the age of 50 as opposed to 75. And that may mean, you know, cars aren't that important to me. And, you know, being able to afford my lifestyle much earlier than retirement age is much more important. So it's really aligning your money, your time to the things that truly matter to you. It's awareness. It's awareness that your time is valuable.
How did you get there, Jason? So how did you shift your mindset from maybe what it was before to what it is now? Because I think that's what's important for a lot of people to hear, is that transformation. If they're stuck in the ladder and not thinking like that, what shifted for you to make that change?
No, Marsha, it's a continuous process. But my waking moment, actually the moment that I became aware of I was not aligning my money to the things that mattered most to me, therefore I was wasting my time, was, you know, walking into my apartment in Palo Alto, California at the time when I lived out in Silicon Valley, and seeing all these things that didn't represent my values. And I just kept buying more stuff. And that moment of epiphany where I walked into my walk-in closet and I see this new luggage that I never opened, that I brought from Texas, and had all these clothes that I bought because they were on sale. And that I never even bothered to look at after 30 days. It was just that need to consume as opposed to create. And so for me, it was really just awareness of like, what do I truly value? And it was stopping myself from mindlessly consuming things that wasn't adding value to my life. I mean, that's kind of like one of that moment. So awareness, financial awareness, self-awareness happens when you're able to take a step back. And so I created a process where if I wanted to go purchase something, because, you know, yes, I'm a guy and I had a spending problem. You know, I thought like happiness, like related to the things that I could purchase. And because of that, I wasn't able to save as much as I could have. I put myself into debt. But that awareness of saying, well, you know, does all this stuff that I'm accumulating, the cars, the motorcycle, the clothes, the brand name, what have you, does that represent the values? And it wasn't. And so that wake up was asking myself constantly before making a purchase is like, does this align with what I value? You know, do I need it? Was the first question. Do I need it now? Was the second. And the third and final is like, what would happen if I don't have it? And what this does, it gives you a break. it makes you pause for a second.
Yep.
And that pause is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And then that awareness allows you to align yourself and go, okay, nope, saving is much more important, you know, so I can make better purchases for the things that I truly want, you know, maybe 3 months or a year down from now.
Right. Don't you just love the pause though, Jason? Don't you just love when you can just step back and say, like, do I really, when you that self-awareness comes and you're like, do I really need this? Is it something that I really want? Is it an emotion that I'm really connecting with? Did you switch out those things for something else though, Jason? Or do you just feel like you switched it over to things that you valued more? So if it wasn't things, then was it vacations or just going on like your road trips?
You know, it was kind of the same thing too, because like at that time when I was making really good money, I was spending on things and I was spending on experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But what that did was it perpetuated my need to continue the work.
Okay.
So because like I was living paycheck to paycheck. So here I am making 6 figures and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Sure, it looked like I had this great life, but the reality was, you know, I really wasn't aligning my time and my money and the things I truly value. And what I truly value, I think for most of us, is experiences.
Yeah.
And there's so many articles now and studies that show experiences do trump things.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is that because experiences are something that we can share. So like imagine like when you go and you buy that BMW and you're excited and happy and you start sharing it on Facebook, on social media, you tell your family and friends you just bought this beautiful BMW, you ride it, you feel happy. Well, the moment that, you know, after the first day, your feeling towards that vehicle starts declining. And just imagine yourself a year from the day you purchased that BMW,
Mm-hmm.
telling a stranger, hey, I bought this new car, this BMW. And it sounds ridiculous. But if you went and you aligned your money to an experience. So
Mm-hmm.
and you said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go fly out to Napa Valley because I love wines and I'm going to go and have this experience with a loved one or with friends. Well, guess what? You're able to talk about that with other people in perpetuity, like in forever. And then now you're able to relive those moments. So that's why I value experiences over things, but I want your community to understand that things and experiences do cost money.
Yeah.
So it's not like, so it's like, it does cost money. So you still need that plan. You still need to make money. You still need to save.
Jason, why is it, before I let you go, the very last question I think is really important. Why is it very important that we take control of our money today? Not at the top of the year in 2018, but like starting now. Why is that so important?
Well, it's important to take control of the money today because time is fleeting.
Yes, it sure is.
That's essentially it. I mean, you're right. It's like, why should we take control of our money today as opposed to January 2018? Because then you lose out on the 3 months. And it takes time for us to build a savings habit. And what I love about the challenge that started during the summer is that, you know, the women that have taken this challenge have begun a transformation.
Absolutely.
That's changing their relationship with money.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those who signed up and those that are listening but haven't made the plunge to do that 1% or what have you, you know, why it's important to start today, it's because even saving $1 when you haven't saved ever in your entire life changes your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a shift. It is substantial. And if people believe it's ridiculous, but it's not. And before I leave, I want to share the story from like North Carolina, which I mentioned in the book. It's, you know, I did this talk at this workplace where I said, you know, save as little as $5. Put $5, automate it. Every single pay period, put that $5 into a savings account automatically through your credit union, through your bank. Do that automatic transfer. And this lady goes, well, how much is that gonna lead to? So we're always thinking about kind of like the end goal when we haven't even started. And so it's important to start because after actually less than a year, this woman in her 30s who never saved a day in her life began saving with $5. And within a few months, she had over $1,000 in her savings account.
Wow.
And she thought there was no way that she could ever save money. And what she found was when you start with very small amounts, you realize, well, you know what? $5 wasn't much. You know, it didn't change kind of the quality of her life, and then she was able to increase it to 10. And then when you start seeing that savings add up, it's exciting. It becomes like, it's like we like seeing our credit score
Yep.
really high. When you get that savings mindset, you love seeing your savings account very high.
Right. So start today so you can make sure you don't lose that time. And I agree with you, Jason, is that every young lady that joined the challenge, and whether they fell off midway or at the beginning or made it all the way through, I think the biggest thing to remember is that it was a transformation. And it takes, before you, at the top of our session, you talked about money is just dollars and cents. That's easily calculated, but it all goes back to your mindset. Correct, Jason?
Absolutely. It all starts here.
All starts up there. Jason, thank you so much. As always, you know how much I appreciate you, because I say it all the time. Tell people, listen, Jason, tell people where they can find you and when you plan on starting your next wellness tour, your financial wellness tour. Can you just enlighten them on that a little bit before we go?
Yeah, thanks so much, Marsha. Yeah, so you can find more information about me at jasonvitug.com. And I urge all your community members, everyone taking this challenge, to go visit roadtofinancialwellness.com. And we are going on the road in 2018. We'll be visiting all 50 states. So, and I'm going to put this out there, Marsha, and I'm going to drag you with me because, the finance part and everything. So you're going to be part of this. And I want to be able to meet many of the women that are taking this challenge in events all across the country. And the Road to Financial Wellness is a grassroots national movement to empower us to live our best lives through financial knowledge. And so definitely check out the website to learn more. And I'm sure I will be updating you, and you can update the community going further along the year.
And I will. I'll be tagging right along with you and sharing the information so everybody can come join, because I don't think anybody should miss out on what you have to share. So thank you again, Jason. I am going to give you your night back. As always, it's a pleasure, and I appreciate you so much, okay?
Thank you so much. And again, I want to congratulate everyone that's taking this challenge. And lastly, remember, you only live once. Define what living once means to you.
Oh, I love that, Jason. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.